A very good morning to all. Today, we shall get started off on the second module of innovation management, of which I shall briefly delve into the very first topic of the same, which is called organizational innovation. Just to reiterate, module 1 spoke about innovation as a concept. Module 1 spoke about innovation in the theoretical sense of the term, whereas Module 2 looks at incorporating innovation practically in organizations and the different techniques, tools, and methodologies which are involved. You see, innovation where creativity and technology meet. In an organization, creativity, technology are not going to be merely enough for the innovation to sustain. There are many other niceties and nuances that we need to consider. So, as we keep moving on ahead in this module, I will lay emphasis on each and every one of these nuances and topics which are important. How can we define an organization? So, first and foremost, it's a social unit of people. It's structured, it is managed in order to meet a particular need or to pursue collective goals. I'm sure from semester 1, from our basics or fundamentals of management, we are aware about the mission statement, the vision statement. So, this is what you mean by collective goals. An organization is an entity which has multiple people. Could be an institution, could be an association. They have a collective goal, and this is linked to your external environment, meaning an organization has dependencies on its suppliers, on its buyers, on the government. Of course, we cannot rule out the presence and the influence of the government. So, this is what I mean when I say linked to an external environment. Innovation, as you can see, the first one. So, when you say process innovation, accordingly, you can have these things also. Supply chain management, meaning there are some companies today who are distributing their products using someone else's supply chain. E commerce was a new process innovation altogether. The way you do your strategy development and visioning, that's a process innovation. Knowledge management. So, today, most companies have regular and scheduled training being given to each and every single employee in the organization, maybe even access to specialized courses. So, knowledge management as a process has started becoming very dynamic and very innovative. Look at technical innovation, very simply applying technology, creating new products or services. So, examples are creation of a new line of automobiles. You take Honda, for example, they had petrol, then they moved to diesel, then they had hybrid vehicles, now they're looking at bringing out electric vehicles. So, these are examples of technical innovations. Cell phones, from the huge brick like Nokia cell phones to the push button cell phones to touch screen cell phones. Latest innovation which I have seen is Samsung has a phone which simply folds in half called the Galaxy Fold. So you're looking at foldable cell phones. You're looking at cell phones which project onto surfaces in your home or in your office. All these are technical innovations. Administrative innovations looks at creating or innovating a design in the organization which supports better creation, production and delivery of services or products. So, best example for administrative innovation is what is going on now. None of us can set foot out of our homes thanks to the lockdown because of the COVID 19 pandemic. So organizations everywhere have migrated to virtual teams, migrated to WFH, work from home, migrated to remote meetings. So all the members are focused, are part of one group. They need not even be in the same room, they need not even work at the same time, but they're all working for a common goal, which is innovation within the organization. When you see the organizational aspects of innovation, it's a problem solving process. It occurs in commercial firms. Involvement of government agencies, public labs is secondary. Primary is the organization. It's a very interactive process which involves relationships between different firms with different actors, has formal and informal relationships, helps position the firm as a very unique and innovative firm, very diversified, highly energetic learning process, exchange codified and tacit specific knowledge, establishment of new methods of production, new methods of distribution. Organizational innovation involves introduction of changes in management, involves introduction of new types of management structures, involves unique working conditions, involves empowering employees with a unique set of skills. What are the elements of organizational innovation? One, most important element is you need to achieve or identify your purpose, which is the mission, vision, independent goals, team goals, organizational goals, and the like. It helps you achieve your dreams. An innovative organization helps build loyalty. If your organization is innovative, you are setting a benchmark or a standard. Helps one inspire enthusiasm amongst colleagues and employees. Helps encourage commitment. If an organization is highly innovative, it becomes part of its culture and values. Gives a unique strength to the organization and becomes one of the core values or principles on which the organization operates. When you look at organizational innovation, there is actually a three horizon growth based model for it. One, first horizon looks at current business. You are innovating in your current business itself. I'll just come with an example for this, bear with me. Horizon 2 looks at business which is closely related to your business. Horizon 3, completely new business. So, I take the example of Mahindra and Mahindra to elucidate the three horizon growth model. You see, Mahindra and Mahindra were always into the manufacture of tractors and farm equipment. Slowly, M&M Automobile also emerged. So their current business is into agriculture, is into tractors, is into trucks, is into passenger cars. Similarly, Mahindra and Mahindra thought in the passenger car segment, how about I introduce electric cars? So that's a related business. Today, in light of the need for ventilators and masks and other equipment battle corona, Mahindra and Mahindra has actually utilized or it's utilizing many of its manufacturing plants to produce hand sanitizer, to produce ventilators, to manufacture the recommended masks. So you see that's a completely new business. And you see stage by stage how they've innovated from tractors to trucks, to cars, to electric cars, to hybrid cars, and now to ventilators, hand sanitizer, lotions. So it's very, very innovative across the organization. So, what is the alchemy or the secret of growth? Simple types of portfolio is needed. You need to have a great starting point when you innovate, and you need to know the differences in innovation from one horizon to another horizon. See, Horizon 3 needs a great starting point, and Mahindra and Mahindra couldn't have asked for a better one. People across the country were in dire and desperate need of this equipment, so they had a great starting point, and thus they're able to be very successful in this new business as well. What is the role of culture and leadership in innovation? There is no innovation without the right leadership. Please understand, innovation is a highly collaborative activity. Multiple teams across functions need to work together and innovate. No single person can manage the innovation. It's a team effort, it's a collaborative effort. And innovation often happens outside the comfort zone or the normal day to day process. So, as a manager, what are the essential roles to imbibe innovation in your culture? Is you need to promote an attitude and expectation of innovation. You need to institute policies and strategies which makes innovation very real. You need to enable innovation while you are engaged actively in removing obstacles. Remove any administrative or technical obstacles for staff due to which they are unable to innovate. So, very quickly, if you look at the roles and responsibilities for innovation, consider the individual employee. You need to lead yourself and generate creative solutions. Let's look at a first level manager who's leading others. You need to lead the group process, obtain resources, and try and innovate. Look at the second level of manager, leading manager, where you protect the team and you help develop grassroots innovation from scratch. Then you look at the almost top level, most senior management. So you have the employee, you have the first level, you have the mid senior management, then you look at the senior management. You need to direct, you need to protect the innovation mindset in the organization, provide a clear direction for innovation. Let's look at the guys, the women, or the people that lead the organization, the CEO, the CFO, the CTO, the CHRO, for example. It is their responsibility and it rests on their shoulders to foster a culture of innovation. They need to model behaviors of teams, multiple teams, in order to facilitate that DNA of innovation in their minds. So you see, roles and responsibilities will vary from leader to leader to leader. So to conclude, effective organizations have a formal innovation strategy set in paper and practically implemented. They have a budget dedicated to innovation. Ineffective organizations have cultures that do not support innovation. They lack the leaders who truly encourage innovation, and they lack any direction for innovation. So these are the differences between effective and ineffective organizations to drive innovation within the organization. So with this, I would quickly stop. We will look at further insights into organizational innovation as the sessions proceed. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead of you.